Hello, hello, hello. How's it going?
Is Madeline around?
She's around. Do you want me to go retrieve her?
Can we sing to her?
Of course. Hey, Madeline.
It's her birthday today. Ready?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay, here we go.
Don't You're still on mute.
Yeah.
I think she's upstairs. She occasionally puts together these little radio shows.
Cool.
So maybe we can catch her at a later.
Okay. Well, if not, wish her a very happy birthday.
Of course, I will do that. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Have you played around with the program at all since last week?
I have more than they have.
Okay.
They're still,
We're thinking.
well,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're making stuff all the time. We need to get we all agree that we need a mouse.
Oh,
Yeah.
mouse helps. Yeah, I definitely I
Yeah.
use a mouse.
So
Yeah.
our plan is to get a hold of one of those.
There you go. There you go. Any general questions about anything you were trying to do or anything like that?
No, I mean, for me and Ida, I mean, she's definitely wanting to use this. Well, for your third collage, I'll let you talk.
Okay.
For my third course?
Yeah, you had talked about using this for your third
Oh,
collage.
yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to use that for my third
Okay.
collage for sure.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, it's good to try a few different approaches to it. So cool, cool. Well, while we're waiting for a few other people to show up, if we have other people, it might just be us. I'm not really sure. Let me just share my screen for a moment.
Okay.
So let me show you what I've been working on here.
Cool.
So we're gonna try to play around with the idea of making a hybrid of some sort.
Nice.
Ideally of something living plus something non-living. Though I'm not really that picky about that. I think the combination of any two unlike things is going to be a good fun challenge. So while we're waiting, if you want to maybe try to find some source images to work with. So like I use this turtle and this station wagon.
Okay.
And you know, this is it's a little tricky, but it certainly helps if you can find source images that are a little bit aligned. Like you can see, you know, this car and this turtle have a similar angle to them. You know what I mean? And they're also like kind of similar things. A turtle's got 4 legs, a car's got 4 wheels. They're not the trickiest things in the world to try to mash together. I mean, I guess it's up to you how much you want to challenge yourself with what we're doing today. Um, but if you want to just, yeah, while we're waiting another few minutes for anybody else to show up, you could do some image hunting. Okay.
You want to use the cheesecake?
Yeah.
Hey there, Sabrina.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Welcome. I'm not sure if we're getting anybody else joining us tonight, but I guess we can get started a little bit. We are kind of continuing what we did last week in some ways, but we'll try some new stuff. This week, I want to more so give you all like time to try some stuff out and ask me questions. Again, I think a large part of learning these programs is kind of like it's just problem solving. You get yourself in a situation where you want it to do something, and then kind of figuring out what you need to do to solve your problem is kind of where a lot of learning happens. So the main idea that I do want to work with today, or sort of challenge that I want to do, is for us to create some sort of a hybrid of a mix of something living with something non-living. So the first thing that we're going to want to do, and some people have already started this a bit, but let me share my screen here, is we want you to find some images that you're going to want to work with. So the one that I've kind of created already is I took this tortoise and this picture of a station wagon, and I mixed them together and created this station turtle wagon. I don't know what you want to call it necessarily. Um, there's still more I could do with it. It looks a little silly. It's not perfect by any means, but we're not really looking for perfection today. But that's the one that I did. And then what I think I want to try to do is to mix a bat with a pear and make some sort of a pear bat. when you go to find your images, I think it's helpful if you're thinking a little bit about, how similar are these images? Again, this turtle and this station wagon, they're both kind of facing in the same direction. Just thinking about the shapes of them in general, they're not, obviously they're very, very, very different things, but, a car's got 4 wheels, turtle's got 4 legs, there's shape-wise, they're not the most different things in the planet. That they worked together pretty well without too many massive challenges. And I did combine the legs of this are actually from a different tortoise, so sometimes you might even use more than one source image for whatever you're mixing this with. So hold on to some of that. I don't know exactly how this pear bat's going to turn out yet, but we'll kind of play around with it as we go. And let me think, what else do I want to say just starting off? So yeah, what you're going to want to do when you get into Pixlr, actually, let me kind of go back to here, just to kind of a little bit of a review. So here's all the different things that I have open so far. Got our project from last week. Maybe we'll touch back on that or see if anybody has any questions about that. But we'll kind of do that closer to the end. So you're going to want to do create new. The size, I'm not too worried about what size you're working with. I just work with the full HD size just to give myself plenty of room. So I'll just kind of do that, but let's see, I don't need 2 of those open. So yeah, so decide, I'll give you a little bit of time to find your images, but I'll just give you the one next step. Decide maybe which one of your source images, I don't know, both of these have pretty plain backgrounds, so I might even add a whole other background anyhow, but just for sake of figuring some stuff out, I'm gonna copy this whole entire image of the pear. So I'm gonna do Control A, and that, you see it puts that dotted line around the whole border. That means I have the whole thing selected. I'm gonna do Control C to copy, and then go into my new file and do Control V. And if I want to make that a little bit bigger, I use the arrange tool, and then I can drag out those corners. Remember, if you want it to stay, in proportion, you want it fixed. If you want to play with the other dimensions of it, you can do it free. It's really up to you for this project. Either one can kind of work. Just a matter of what you want to do with it. But I'll make that nice and maybe not that big. I got to think about room for my bat wings here. So that'll be my background, and I'll wait there for a little bit till I feel like everybody has some images to work with. And then I'll talk a little bit about what I did with this one and some of the steps that I took. And then we'll kind of just start from scratch with mine. And everybody's going to be a little bit different. I picked this project kind of on purpose because depending on what images you work with, you're all going to run into slightly different challenges. But hopefully along the path, we can get through a few skills, help you figure out how to problem solve some of the stuff. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing for a little bit. And when you feel like you've got 2 images that you're ready to start working with, let me know, either thumbs up or just shout out or whatever.
Hey Ben.
Yeah.
Ida and I picked an image.
Okay.
And when we want to create another image, I have the image in front of me. How do I toggle back to create another page to bring in another image?
It might be easiest if I can see your screen. Are you able to share?
I'm on a different computer because.
Oh, okay. Well, here, let me just here. I'll share my screen for a second. I'll try to, I think, replicate what you're talking about. So
yeah, you have that picture of, and you now want to create another layer, I guess.
Another layer or like another canvas, I guess.
I want to add another image to my worktop.
Okay, so if you're, let's say this is what you've got and you want to add another image to this, there's a couple different ways you could do it. The one way that I don't think I showed you last time is if you go to layer you can go to add an image as a layer.
Okay.
And then from there, well, if you have it as a file, it would be from there. If you want to do it as a URL, as a URL as a layer. So then like, let me
Okay.
find my other window here.
But I could add it directly as a layer instead of creating another image.
You could, yeah. So like if I
Okay.
wanted to add this bat as another layer, you know, I've got that in its own website page from my Google search. Copy that URL
Okay.
in here, paste that in. So now I've got that as a separate layer. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, thank you.
Of course, of course.
So,
Yeah, I know a lot of this stuff is just a matter of kind of figuring out the order to do things in. And again, there, with most of the stuff, there's 800 different ways that you can do it. And hopefully we can help you figure out what ways are most or at least more comfortable for you.
hey, can you choose a stock image as a layer in that? I'm looking at layer, add images layer.
Yeah.
I think you would be able to. Where are you getting the stock image from?
From Pixlr, they have
Oh,
a file option. Under file, it says stock search.
You could try that. I haven't played around with that feature
Okay.
myself, to be honest, but I don't see why we wouldn't be able to do that.
So let me see here. All right.
And as you're, picking out your images, start to think about maybe what you want to try to do, at least conceptually, as far as mixing these two things together. You want to take parts of one thing and add it to the other. Depending on what things you're picking, there could be a million different ways to do it. And again, you might end up using, for my bat, like this image of the bat that I have here, I can't really see the bat face very well. So I'm probably almost definitely going to be using another image of a bat as well. I just started with this one because it had really clear wings for me to use. But I'll probably need a second image at least. And maybe a third for a background. I don't know what I'll do with my background yet, but we can have some fun with that. If people feel like sharing what they're planning on combining, that would be fine. Or if you want to just leave it as a surprise and maybe show me later on what you've come up with.
We're gonna do cheesecake and wings of some kind.
Eagle wings.
Eagle wings.
Very fun. That'll work. That could be fun. Sounds like a nice 4th of July in some way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ben, and last week we learned to cut out what we wanted using the lasso and polygon, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah. And I'm gonna show another, depending on what sort of source image you're working with, I'm gonna show you another thing that might kind of work in a minute here. Sabrina, are you about ready to move on to some other steps?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So again, everybody's approach to this might be a little bit different. I'll just kind of talk you through a few of the tools that we might use, and then I'll let you try some stuff out. And again, I think today's going to be a lot more back and forth questions. You guys try some stuff, and we'll see how I can help you out. All right. So let me share my screen here. All right. So with both these parts that I'm working with, I've got very blank backgrounds. So one thing that we could do, if you did want, like if you have an image like this and you just want to use, you know, the subject of that picture, you might want to use the wand select tool. So what the wand select tool does is when you click on an area, it tries to kind of select everything that is similar to what you've selected. So like it's an area like this, that's a pretty solid background. If I select that, it's gonna select, oh wait, I might have had the wrong layer selected there. Oh yeah. So if I have the pair selected and I select that, oh, those colors are a little too close. Let me try it with the pair instead, or I'm sorry, with the bat instead. So if I do this, it's selecting all of that black, and then if I hit X, then I just have, or yeah, you could do X or you could do delete. It did accidentally erase a little bit of that wing as well, which is, you know, sometimes that's the problematic thing with working with the magic select tool. So I'm gonna actually not do that, but you know, again, depending on what kind of image you're working with, that might be best. Another just quick side thing, if you have stuff selected and you don't want it selected anymore, you could either go to select and do deselect, or you could use that shortcut, which is just Control D. So Control D, and now that just gives me that. So yeah, it is looking like for this one, I am gonna probably want to just use the lasso tool. So I'm gonna just zoom in nice and good on this. And I'm just gonna kind of get one. Actually, I could probably do this whole thing. I'm gonna try to do all of the wings and this kind of tail part all at once. So yeah, let's see. Use the polygon one. And because I know like it was only really doing that, you know, messing up that part of the wing, that's really going to be the only part that I'm going to really worry about being super careful about selecting. And whenever I'm cutting something out like this, I always aim to go a little bit on the inside of what I'm trying to cut out. Because then when I cut and paste that into something new, you know, I don't want a little bit of an edge of whatever was in the background there before. You know, nobody's going to know that, yeah, there was, you know, 1/18 of a centimeter of the wing that I didn't cut off. But if I had a bit of that black background, that's immediately gonna kind of jump out. So I'm not gonna worry too much about being, you know, worrying about all those little hairs and everything, because most of that's probably gonna end up being behind the pair in some way. Or even if it's not, you know, I'll kind of solve that problem later on. Yeah, this is a spot where a mouse is nice because I've got that little wheel on my mouse. I can zoom in and out while I'm working. But I can't go up and down. So yeah, I'm not too worried about all of that area because then I'll be able to pretty easily get rid of that with the magic wand tool. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste that. And what I'm going to do from there, my original image, I'm just going to hide that for now. So I'm going to do that little check mark. And now I've got this. And now if I use the magic wand tool and select that and then just hit delete, I'm in pretty good shape then. Control D. Oh, I got a little bit of a line there, but let me see if I can get that. Maybe not. Oh, that got weird. Let's try that again. So it's giving me a bit of residual sort of line there, but that's not too hard to then just use my erase tool and then just get rid of that. All right, so now what I want to do is arrange this in some way to fit with this pair. So if I grab the little circle at the top, I can change the angle. Obviously, again, the sides, I can change by grabbing the corners. And just one more time, just in case you need the reminder, if I do want to play with, kind of distorting how that changes a bit, I want to click that free one. And yeah, so I'm probably going to want to get rid of the background of this pair, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I would say just, start thinking about what you want to do, start cutting stuff out and see how it goes. And when if you run into an issue, we'll kind of take it from there. Does that make sense? Any questions so far? Good, cool. But I'll keep my screen up and you can kind of watch me if you want, but if you're into doing your thing, keep doing your thing and we'll just kind of help each other out as we go here. Maybe what I want to do.
How do you undo?
Control Z is the shortcut for it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there he is again. See, okay.
Thank
Because
God
Control
we're
U
here.
did not work.
Well, boom.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, most of the shortcuts are similar to Photoshop and a lot of other programs, but there are a few that are different just because it's a web program. So there's shortcuts that would throw it off because it's on the internet. Oops. That's not what I expected to happen. That's weird. I think I goofed something up. I think I got to redo my wings, but that's okay. Mm-hmm.
So, Ben,
So,
if I cut something out and then I want to get rid of the background that's still there, how do I do that?
if I'm understanding your question correctly, so let's say I cut, you can see my screen now, right?
Yeah.
There's that one. So if I wanted to cut this mouth out, let's say, and you want to get rid of everything else, is that the
Yeah.
idea? So with that selected, I could go to select and then invert selection. And then from there, if I hit delete, it gets rid of everything else. Does that make sense? Does that solve it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show a quick little thing here. Sorry if I'm disrupting anyone, but a little trick I'm doing, rather than trying to cut out the other eye for the bat, I'm just copied the one I already did, but obviously it looks a little weird because it's on the wrong side of the head. So if you had something like that you just need to flip around the other way, with that selected, I go to image rotation, whoop, and then just flip horizontal. Oop, no, that flipped the wrong thing. That's not what I wanted to do. I guess that does flip the whole thing. What do I want to do then there? All right, sorry, I thought that was going to do it. I got to keep playing around, I guess. I think, oh, here, up at the top, I can just flip that part. There we go. That's the way to do it. Sorry, I forgot what I'm doing. This is looking like, I thought bats were scary, but this pear bat is looking a little even more terrifying to me. How's everybody doing? Okay. Does anybody have any requests of where I should make my pear bat live, or at least be located in this lovely artwork I'm making right now?
No.
No? All right, fine.
The Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. There we go. There we go. We'll make the pear bat at the Taco Bell. Maybe it's their new mascot. Let's see. Here we go.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's coming together. One thing I like to do every once in a while is just make sure I label my layers, because sometimes it's hard to tell what is what, and it can get a little confusing if you need to move stuff around and figure out what should be on top of what. So to change the name of a layer, you got to right click on it, and then you get this little menu. So that's just that. in just a minute or two, I'm going to go through a few little techniques that we can do to kind of blend some of this stuff in some different ways, you know, depending what you want to do and what exact effect you want to get. That's the bat nose.
I'm done with mine.
Oh, okay. You're able to share your screen, right? Could you here? Well, let me stop sharing mine. Would you be able to show me and us? See what you've come up with?
Okay, just wait a little bit. I need
Okay.
to.
Take your time. There's no rush. Oh my gosh. Those are great. Oh
That's
man.
awesome.
So what do you call this creation there, Sabrina? You have a name for it yet? Oh, that's all right. Can you tell us a little bit about what you did? I mean, I can kind of put some of it together, but I'd like to hear you tell us.
I pretty much put a person and a boat together.
Great. And you kind of did that two different ways. I see you've got, you know, the person there with the wing, but then that's fun that you did it both ways. That's cool. I thought about for my other demo to do the reverse of the turtle hybrid and do the car parts onto the turtle. But yeah, you did a great job there. Those are fun. So yeah, if you wanted to, you know, I would say at this point, you know, think about try to do whatever you want to do with it. You know, do something weird. See if you could try to replace the background. See, I don't know. Think about something that you'd like to try to do. If there's something that you'd like to try but you're not sure, let me know and I'll see if we can figure out a way to get you through it. Okay.
Okay,
That's great though. Thank you for sharing.
thanks.
All right, I'm gonna get into a few skills of just some different ways that we could blend some of these parts together in some different ways. So let me share my screen here again. All right, so let me think. First, I'm gonna play around with my bat nose. So one thing that we can do here, and again, it just depends what exactly you're trying to do with these different parts. But if I wanted to get this to like blend in with the pear a little bit more, there's a couple different things that I could do. One thing that I don't think I showed last time. So with this, where I have the layers over here, there's these little 3 dots on the left of the layer. If I select that, I get a few more options. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to understand them all right this second. but the one thing I can play around with is transparency. So that's just making that layer more or less transparent. So if I do it like, you know, somewhere in between, I'm getting a little bit of that yellow from the pear kind of coming through the nose, and it might look a little bit more like a pear bat nose if you wanted to do something like that. All right, so that's one thing we could do. Another thing I'm going to try is I'm going to do it with, I'll just try it with one of these eyes. So what I'm going to do first is make sure that this eye is right above my pear layer. And again, I'm going to, and there's another thing that you could do a couple different ways, but if I select these 3 dots and I do the one that merges down. So what this is going to do is this is going to make that left eye be on the same layer as the pear. But I want to do that because then I can use that heal/blend tool. Let me get a little bit of a smaller brush here. That's way too big. And just at the edges of the eye, I can kind of blend that. So now it's maybe not going to be as like swift of a cut, and it can kind of blend in, just kind of smudges it a little bit and might make that look a little more natural to some degree. It's you know, maybe not perfect, but again, something we can play around with. Let's say we wanted to give a bit of this pear color to the wings to really give it some pear bat wings. So what I'm going to do first is I want to try to get a color from this pear. So what I do with that is I'm going to use this picker tool. Looks like a little eyedropper. And I'm just going to try to get, you know, kind of a main area of this pear, right? And then I'm going to go to this tool here is called the color replace tool. And then I'm going to make sure I've got my wings selected. And I'm going to pick a paintbrush. I'm going to use maybe not that big, but I am going to use a pretty big brush for this. And then what this does, oops, I didn't want to go that extreme. Oh, sorry, I had the regular paintbrush. Let me do that one. That'll make a difference. Go a little bigger. Is this will kind of bring some of that color from the pear into the wing. Sometimes it works better than others. It's not a tool that I've perfected, but it's bringing a little bit of that yellow into the wing, but still keeping kind of the same shading and patterns that are there. Sometimes this works better than others, but it's working okay. That's maybe not exactly what I would be trying to go for. But that's a way that you can blend stuff in a little bit. Let me think. What else? I'm going to go back a little bit and try something else and see how that works. Maybe I'll say the right wing I tried the color replace, and the left wing will try something else. So again, I'm gonna merge these layers so I can do something that I need to do. So I've got the wings above the bat left eye, and just to show you a different way that you can merge layers is with that selected, go to layer and go to merge down. All right. So now what I'm gonna do, that got a little weird, but that's okay. I'm not gonna stress about it right now. I'm gonna use this clone tool. And I think we used this a little bit last time, but just to review a little bit. So you can see up here, I've got the source and I've got the paint. So first the source, you're selecting what you want to imitate in the next step. So I want to kind of imitate sort of this like pear-like texture that I have on the pear. So I'm going to select that as my source, but then I'm going to do the paint on the wings. Again, I don't know if this is going to work great, but we'll play around with it. So it's maybe going a little too strong pear, and I'd maybe want something a little less intense than that. But I don't know, just to maybe blend it in a little bit or something. I don't know, I'm just kind of messing around here, but those are a couple of different things that you can play around with as far as trying to blend those things together a bit more. What else can I show you for now? I don't know. Any other questions so far? Okay. I'm going to show one other thing with the layers, just as like a quick thing that is maybe helpful to some of you. If you wanted to flatten, if you wanted to bring all the layers back to one layer so everything's on the same space, that would be layer and then just flatten image. And after I do this, you'll see now everything is together. Now, if I did something like the liquefy tool, everything can kind of blend together with the background, whatever. But I don't want to do that. I want to keep my layers separate for now, but that's something that maybe at times you want to do. What else? I don't know. What else can we do with this? What else do you think I should do with my pear bat? Any suggestions, requests? What do you think this artwork needs? We can get beyond the idea of a hybrid as well. If we want to get even weirder with it, if you're like this pear bat needs a birthday hat or something like that, you know, what do
It
you think?
needs shoes.
It needs shoes. Oh, great idea. Okay, so I'm gonna first find some sneakers for this. I feel like this is a sneaker wearing pear bat. I'm not gonna give him some dress shoes. How about some Converse All Stars? There we go. Let's go with these classic looking ones here. But then again, maybe I need two though, and that's gonna look a little funky. Maybe I want that one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. So again, right click, open image in new tab so I can get just that by itself. Control copy, switch back over to my artwork. And again, so you could go to file new image and do that, but I'm learning to do this a little bit better where I go to layer, add a URL as a layer, and then boom. All right. So this I hope is going to be a good example where I can use that magic wand to get rid of the background a little quicker. But I feel like it might erase part of the shoe, but let's see what happens. Yeah, that erased part of the shoe. All right, that's not going to work, but that's okay. I've gotten pretty quick with this. How is the cheesecake? What was it again? Cheesecake.
Cheesecake Falcon.
It's on the computer.
Cheesecake Falcon Eagle.
Cheesecake
Nice.
Falcon Eagle.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
It's
working
not-
on
it's
a
still-
rather questionable computer just to have two things going at once, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
we
not
keep
convenient.
freezing when we select things. So
Oh,
we're working on it.
Okay. Shoes was a great suggestion. Thank you for that. That's great.
Those shoes are fantastic.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, there we go. Now we've got a pear bat on our hands. This is great. Pear bat at the Taco Bell. Sounds like a great story.
It does. There's a great children's book with phenomenal illustrations called Bat Night at the Library or Bats at the
yeah.
Library.
Bats.
And it's a really good one. And the little bats do all kinds of fun things with the books.
Mhm.
Oh,
They
that's
read,
fun.
of course. They're there for the read, but
Yeah. Oops. I'm gonna open up my project from last week and think about what else this needs. Ah, not that. Maybe what I need to do, I have an idea.
So walk us through what you're doing, Ben.
Okay, sorry, I'm just, so I'm gonna try to put this Steve Buscemi to make it look like he's popping up behind the Taco Bell. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do, I'm just moving him out of the way, I'm just kind of move some stuff out of the way for a little bit. So with my background selected, I know like I use this lasso tool for like so many things. Whoops, polygon one. I'm just gonna copy the building. And I really only need to worry about kind of the edge where he's popping out. I don't need to be super meticulous about the rest of it.
Super cool. Oh.
And then from there, yeah, I can get a little sloppier. I don't have to be too careful down there. And then I'm gonna do copy, paste, and then just line that up to be right in line with that. And then I just need to put Mr. Buscemi in between those layers. And then he's right there, popping out. Whoops, I don't need that. Actually, let me just erase that one. Oh wait, now that needs to be someplace else. Maybe. No, that's not gonna work. Oh, I think I did something wrong here. I'm gonna need to back up a little bit here. Okay. Oh, I see what I did. That's way up there. Okay, let me move this down. I forgot when I pasted on my second Taco Bell here that it when you add a new layer like that, it's automatically going to add it to the top of your pile. And that just threw me off a little bit.
Okay. So he's got to move them down in order.
Ah.
The layers have to be in order for them to appear the way you want them.
Yeah. There we go. Now I can put the rest of these things back. All right, how are we looking now? Oh, I still gotta move this guy back down. There we go. All right, I think that's gonna be my masterpiece for the day.
Fantastic. And the shoes really just
Tie it together really adds the right
nicely
balance to it.
that suggestion.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. Questions before we start to wrap things up a bit here?
No question.
No.
Okay. Similar to last week, I encourage you to play around with it. Next week, we are going to get into a different program. Let me pull that up real quick. Is it Pixel? Yeah. I don't know why all these programs have similar names, but next week we're going to use this other free online program
Okay.
for making pixel art. So similar, it's, you know, if you want to save your files, you got to set up an account, but otherwise it's free to use. There's some annoying ads and stuff like that. But there's some tools that are going to be very similar to Pixlr, but of course it's going to be a little bit more oriented in creating like pixel-based art. This one there is sort of like a what's the best way to describe it? Sort of like a social media aspect tied into it. So there's a lot of people that, you know, share their work through this site, and they do cool things like there's like daily challenges and stuff that you can try. And this is actually a decent program for learning some really basic animation. So next week we'll talk about how we could take a photograph and turn it into pixel art. And then we'll also get into some like really sort of beginner level stuff with animation. So if you feel like checking it out a little bit beforehand, go ahead and play around. It can't hurt. But that's what we'll be focusing on next week with our series on digital art. Okay.
This is very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any last questions or thoughts before we call it a night?
No, we appreciate it.
Of course. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Yeah, it's
It's always
fun.
fun.
And
Right.
tell Mom we wish her a very happy birthday.
I will do that. I will do that. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. If you have questions about anything, feel free to shoot me an email.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yep. Take care. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Bye, Sabrina.
Bye.